Hello, Libra. Welcome to your March forecast. First and foremost, I want to say welcome to everybody. Thank you so much for giving me some time to recover from my cold. I'm feeling much better right now. Apollo's chilling out there in the background, sending us a lot of love. I'd like to extend the same to all of you. A lot of gratitude for joining today. Welcome. This monthly reading is going to help you navigate all the twists and turns, and most importantly, the opportunities in this month ahead, leaving you empowered, inspired, and really aware of what's coming forth. Let's go ahead and get into the channel messages for today. The primary thing that I saw time and again in dreams and meditation was the heart. And what I focused on as I was meditating was our own ability sometimes to either amplify the energy of that heart space or kind of like compress it and push it down. And this is a month where I really want you to focus on listening to what your heart wants. I think as we start to get older, we're time and again sort of taught to suppress that. And inevitably, it comes out in health and I would say physical health and mental health. Because when we're not kind of allowed to flourish and be joyful, we're less productive. We have less capacity to deal with stress in our life. And I think it's so important this month to give yourself the love, the attention, the TLC that you need, that you deserve. This can also be a chance for you to tap into your creativity. I think of like Ace of Cups or King of Cups energy when I think of the heart. Also, it's an important month to maybe just take better care of your health, particularly cardiovascular. So with all of that being said, let's see where the heart is taking us in this spread, and hopefully where there might be some opportunities for expansion in joy, in happiness, and in fun. All right, Libra, close your eyes for a moment. Let's let go of any existing thoughts that you might be carrying with you, stress from today or yesterday, or anything that you might be bringing into the reading. Take a deep breath with me, let it go. Imagine that you are looking at the sun rise, and you feel this safety as the sun connects to your heart space, since we're focusing on the heart, and you can feel that you are enveloped in rays of sunshine. Punch your feet on the ground now. Take a nice deep inhale and exhale. And let's call in angels, spirit guides, and ascended masters. All right, now let's just let spirit come through. Fantastic. We got lovers right at the beginning, which is great. So far, so good. I really love what I see here. All right, let's begin with your catalyst, the underworld. Libra, this is a really powerful card to come through for the catalyst. So the underworld, connected with Hades or Pluto, is coming through as a teacher. So for those of you that actually have a placement of Libra and Pluto in your chart, this is about a lesson that's going to be revealed. We'll look at it in a few moments here. But for everyone this month, it almost feels like there's something extremely significant. It could be ancestral, it could be karmic, it could just be something that has been anchoring or holding you back. And I feel like in this month alone, you could make some amazing strides at letting it go finally and being liberated. So let's really pay attention to lessons that might be coming around again. And if you see anything that is cyclical, like a repeat, and there might be this sort of tendency to hit the snooze button. Not this month. Let's use whatever this is as a wake-up call and a moment to really learn, release, and liberate. The underworld, also about connecting with themes of birth and rebirth and letting go. So this is all working together. But the other thing here is you don't have to rinse and repeat. So when I think of like the death card, which is also connected to, when you walk through that door, on the other side, you are something else. So I feel like you're shedding a skin this month. You're stepping into something exciting, new, and uncharted, and that's exactly where you should be. And if you are someone who is normally resistant to change in your life, this is coming through to embolden, to support, and to inspire. And even if it's not something like amazingly big and bombastic, there could just be something where you finally feel the freedom to explore. So at the very least, let's take a look at the cards and see how that might play out for some of you. Okay, so I like to just get a pulse on everything here. If we look at deep past, near future, and outcome, pretty good. We have like this, for some of you, you've been sitting on something for a while, an idea or a dream, and it feels like it's starting to move in the right direction. And this is a month of action. So everything that I was talking about there, not hiding, not snoozing, embracing whatever it is that's in front of you, it comes through with this as well. I mentioned the heart space. We had the lovers right off the bat at the center. And by and large, it's a very good spread because we aren't seeing things like Ten of Swords, Devil, or Tower. The only thing that we got here on the side was a card connected to death and rebirth. So the change could be the most uncomfortable sort of piece of this, but if that's it, I think you've got this. All right, let's go ahead with your center card here and take a look at the lovers. Because this is at the heart of the spread, it's reminding you that when you are in the frequency of love and joy, you're at your most powerful. Not that you need permission from the stars, from the universe, but this card is coming forth and saying, if not now, then when? When are you going to really put your all into something, follow the passion, whatever that might be in your life? You may also be deciding to put a little bit more time and energy into a relationship. So your passion could be in a project, it could be in a person, it could be in yourself, because in the deep past, we have a very introspective Ace of Pentacles about like investing and developing oneself. Whatever it is, it's fine as long as you're feeling that energy of love and joy. And that's the big takeaway at the center. If you've watched my channel for the better part of a decade, you also know that I see the lovers as a big old magnet. And it's basically you being able to pull in people, places, and things. Basically, see yourself almost like the sun, bringing forth what you really need and what you really want. It's important to feel the sense of worthiness and readiness. So I am ready and I am worthy to receive love and abundance in the highest forms. And I feel like as long as you can kind of wrap your head around that and really put that mantra into use every day, you'll start to see some movement. Very, very positive and impactful first card. Let's see what's crossing that. So we have Nine of Cups on top of this, and this is about happiness, celebration, also sometimes extremes. And I didn't mention this earlier, but this card can be shadow energy, stuff that we don't always deal with. So one of the things that could be coming through in shadow form is this extreme energy. So over or underreacting to something, or allowing someone to deflate what's otherwise a really positive, energetic trajectory. So let's not go to extremes. That's the big takeaway here. Celebrate life's little successes, I should say. Make sure that you're making room for love and joy in your life, and don't sweat the small stuff. Don't let things get into your headspace or under your skin. All right. I mentioned I wanted to look at the karma here because this is a big awakening card. So the karma this month is making sure that you're getting what you need. Ace of Pentacles in reverse. It's kind of like Oliver Twist. Can I have some more? But we want to do it in a way that is more convincing, a little bit more assertive. So you would say instead, I deserve more, or I'm ready for this. Let's do this, or I want this. Anything that kind of puts a little bit more power, clarity, and oomph into it. So that's the first thing, is know what you are worth and state that worth and ask for something when you see it, when you need it, or when it's lacking. Your communication in this area, karmically speaking, can help you make the necessary change and come out of whatever that sort of stagnation that can also be a part of the underworld card might be. You may simply be deciding to move around money, investment, time, or energy. So you're revamping your schedule. Do, however, be mindful of not pulling yourself in too many directions. I'm looking quickly at the spread here. I'm heartened that we see the King of Pentacles here. I actually think you're going to be all right, but with this in the reverse, it could just simply be like a mom or a dad that helps everybody else but doesn't take care of themselves. So I want you to be more self-sustaining. Let's use that word instead of selfish. It's more like taking care of yourself, making sure that you're okay. And when you're sort of foundationally secure, everyone around you benefits. So it is self-sustaining. That's the best way to look at that. All right, let's move on. I just mentioned mom or dad energy. We have one of the ultimate cards here when it comes to boss energy, but also maternal energy. Beautiful Empress coming forth. So once you take care of yourself, then you have more than enough to give to others. You've got to fill the ace up first, and it needs to be in an upright position. And for you, again, instead of an Ace of Cups here, we have the Ace of Pentacles. So time, energy, money, and support. We're looking for that kind of recalibration this month. There is a new sort of theme here as we're looking at what this change, what Pluto wants to bring forth. And in this spread, what Pluto's bringing forth, or what the Death card is bringing forth, because we can read it as both, is a feeling like not only can I do this, but I can do this by myself, on my own, with or without affirmation and support. There is this self-sufficiency that is coming through really loud and really clear. There may also be some unfinished business with respect to your parents. We can read this just generically as parental. So whether it's mother, father, aunt, uncle, grandparent, it doesn't matter. But this is someone who you would look up to as like the ultimate in your life. If there's anything that needs to be said or done or healed, this is the month to do so. In the crowning position, Libra, we have the Ten of Wands in reverse. First and foremost, this is a very positive card. Ten of Wands upright basically represents the end of a cycle. And we even see the ability for rebirth or reincarnation here, kind of like you would see on the Judgment card. Now, a reversal of the Ten of Wands is showing that you may be feeling a burden, like this is a lot to carry emotionally, energetically, maybe even physically. So whatever this sort of burden is, take a step back, delegate, don't push yourself to the point of exhaustion. And, in the environment, we actually have Six of Wands. Sometimes by doing less, you can do more. So you can step into a leadership role, you can get out of this sort of fixated, sort of mental position that you might be right now and see beyond. So that's the first thing. Also, once you have the ability to put things into perspective, it gets easier to make it to the finish line. Maybe you need a day off, maybe a change of scenery because this is a travel card. Whatever you need to do in order to recalibrate, that's the first thing. I mentioned when I had this in the daily that specifically for this illustration, I pay attention to the foundation, the roots. And with this card being reversed, there could be a change in a relationship in your life where either you're more in the sort of driver's seat because we have the Empress here, or the other person is trying to assert a little bit more control. And this is a change. And you have to kind of sit with that and see how you feel about that change, okay? What I do love, though, as we look at the near future, is it feels like things are moving in the right direction. Three of Wands is about almost instantaneous manifestation. It's telling you what you seek, it's right there. It just depends on how ready and willing you are to look in different directions. You may be taking a few steps forward and one step back, but you're still making progress here, and that's how I'm interpreting this Three of Wands reversed. The other thing is if we looked at the traditional one, the person's on a hill looking out at the ships, but they seem so far away. So the main thing here is just to realize that they're coming towards you. You can meet someone or something halfway. And I think that's why you have the travel card right here in the crowning position. These are both traveling. Let's try to get them moving in the same direction or toward one another so that the manifestation can happen faster. As we look at the card that represents you, we have King of Pentacles. What a fantastic card this month, especially when it comes to money or anything that you're trying to build or create. It's not about how quickly you do it. A tortoise or a turtle reminds you that speed isn't that important. It's more about doing it right, doing it well, doing it to a point where you feel this sense of personal satisfaction and fulfillment. The next card in this spread is success, but success is a subjective and very introspective energy. And you get the opportunity this month to decide what feels like success to you, what you deem success to be. Notice on this card how the tree feels a little bit easier to carry. So we have this really heavy one here. It was reversed. And then here we have a smaller tree growing on the back of the turtle. So it feels like you've been able to figure out how to make it work, how to juggle things just a little bit better. Delegating, stepping into a role of leadership, and really kind of rolling up your sleeves and focusing on what matters most to you. This is a paternal card, and we had a maternal card. So you may be in the process of birthing or releasing something. It could be a project. It could be personal development. Some of you might also be like literally focusing on expanding the family, and this is coming through as well. Before we go to the next card, I just really want to underline what a fantastic indicator this is for you, because it's grounded, it's abundant, it's worthy, and it's kind of practical and pragmatic, taking one step at a time, thinking about each step before kind of moving into it. And I think this slow, steady, and consistent movement will bring you what we see in the environment, which is success. So like energy attracts like energy. If we see the Six of Wands marching towards you, it's because possibly with the Three of Wands here, you're just a couple steps away from accomplishing a goal. You may also have someone in your life that has just made it, quote unquote. Maybe they got a promotion. Maybe they accomplished a goal or a dream. Maybe because we have a money card right before it, there's a financial success that they're experiencing. This should inspire you because it's moving towards you, it's moving around you, which means it's in your energy too, and you can use it to inspire and sort of inform what your next steps can be. So whenever you see a successful person, learn from them, adapt, apply, and then also evolve your own sort of approach as well. There could also be an encouragement this month to step more into the spotlight. The Six of Wands is very much like the Star card, front and center, and it's a leading, not a following card. So just to review, you've had a few of those. The Empress, she's a leader. King of Pentacles, he's a leader. This card is about moving to a new shore or moving in a new direction, as is this. So movement and leadership are really coming through loud and clear. Now we have something really fun in hopes, fears, and opportunities. There could be an upcoming celebration. Three of Cups is sometimes a party. It can also be a person coming into your life seeking friendship, partnership, or love. And that is nicely tied into what we see here with the Lovers. This card also reminds you of the importance of getting out there to mix and mingle and meet new people, particularly since we had the Ten of Wands in the crowning position and we talked quite a bit about the roots. So networking, reaching out, making those pivotal connections that are going to help you in the next step of your journey, the next page in your life. This could just be new love too. The thing to remember here with the Three of Cups is it's a courtship. It's a literally they're dancing, so I like that. It is a dance. We don't want to rush someone to make a decision until they're ready. It's interesting because we have an unearthed card, so showing like feeling like things have been flipped topsy-turvy, but then we have very grounded, very self-assured energy. One of you could be more confident if you're looking at a friendship, partnership, or love than the other person. Let the one that feels like their feet aren't yet touching the ground get grounded first before making a big decision. And finally, we have Page of Swords in reverse, speaking up. Listening more than speaking, though, because when it's reversed, there might be something that needs to be clarified, so you can ask a question. The other person may need a little more time to organize and articulate their thoughts. Give them that. And then when it comes to saying or doing what you need to do or what you need to say, brevity is your friend. Basically, with this, you want to get in and get out of the conversation as quickly as possible so you don't end up saying something that you might later regret. Okay, I quite like what I see here. Let's expand it a little bit more. We're going to go into health, wealth, love, and destiny to get a deeper understanding of what's coming through. We'll start off first with your health card, which is mind, body, and spirit. The oracle card that you received here is support. So that nicely aligns with what we were talking about in the crowning position. not feeling like you have to carry this burden all on your own. It also nicely aligns with what we see here with the Three of Cups and even the Lovers itself. There's a lot of people showing up in the spread. We have some group cards. We have people looking towards you as well. So the resources are there. The people are there if you need to lean on them, and ask for support if you need it, okay? Particularly if it's emotional support, but even if it's just time, energy, or money. We'll talk more about that when we get into wealth, but it's kind of making an appearance here, so I needed to highlight it. All right, specifically looking at the cards through the lens of health, let's go. Right here, the underworld. This is really important. Some of you may have a wake-up call, a brush with death, a loss in your life, something that happens where you realize that the time that we spend on this planet is finite. It's unpredictable. We never say it's short, but you don't know the start and stop points. So you should live every day to the most as if it were your last. And this was something I learned to do, like with my parents as they got older. I made sure that I didn't argue with them unnecessarily. I would make sure that we would make amends if we did, because I never wanted to have the regret of, the last thing that we had was an argument. So there was always a clean and open energy when it came to communication. I think that's a good rule to kind of live by. Ultimately, is just, try to assume that that's your last conversation. Is that how you want to leave it? All right, let's look at these cards here and see what else is coming through. I do really appreciate that the Lovers is here at the center. It feels like there's support. It just is reliant on your ability to sort of like say yes or reach out to it. Travel, there's a lot of it here in these two cards. Take care of yourself in the process. Make sure you're getting enough sleep. Make sure you're eating well. Make sure you're not overdoing it when it comes to caffeine, alcohol, or anything of that nature. This is typically a card that gives into some of those, what can we call it? But basically vices, yes. So whatever your vice is, this isn't the month to lean into it. Particularly with this sort of death and rebirth energy, it's time to release that. There could be temptation too. Three of Cups, Nine of Cups. There can be people in your life that say, oh, come on, it's a day off, or it's the weekend, or no one's going to notice. So push back on that peer pressure. This is also a peer pressure card. So I think that there's someone that is stuck in the old program and the old chapter of you. And so you have to let them know that you've moved in a new direction when it comes to that. Otherwise, these are pretty good. Overall, I don't see a lot of issues here other than the wake-up call. And again, I think it is just making sure that you're getting enough time, energy, money, sleep, support, something practical, something grounding. And because the crowning position showed a lack of grounding, I think that is the main focus for you. All right, let's move on from health to wealth. Your resources, life purpose, and career. This card was reversed, but let's look at it in the upright position. We have Lady Nada coming through with the Heart Awakening. How beautifully aligned that is. I didn't even see it until we got to this portion. The caption says, awaken to acceptance and divine love. Give and receive in balance. That latter portion, being able to receive, that is what it's all about here. Many of you are already pretty good at giving with the Empress, the King of Pentacles, and the Lovers, but abundance and opportunity also wants to come forth. And as I talked about earlier, you don't have to carry the burden alone. You don't have to sell yourself short. You definitely are coming through with value and success in this spread. So that is one piece that I want to highlight. And then also just partnerships. The love piece is being able to work well in a group with others. And have you ever noticed that if you have a great team around you, it doesn't feel like work so much. You're just hanging out with people that are like-minded. So success, maybe even celebration, and then partnership, all good. And by the way, we can interpret this a little bit different in this part. This is wish fulfillment, and this is manifestation. So you have the capacity this month to see one of your wishes come true. Now let's dig deeper into the energy of wealth. We'll look at 5 major categories here. We're going to start off with those of you that are currently employed. Then we're going to move on to entrepreneurs. And then we're going to take a look at those that are seeking employment, followed by students, and finally, retirees. Let's begin with those of you that are currently employed. We have the King of Swords in reverse, very auspicious for Libra, that's you. But the reversal does carry with it a couple of notes, a couple of suggestions. The first is to really make sure that you check with your audience to see if the time for communication is right. Make sure that you're being heard correctly and that you're listening well. So just a little bit of caution and a little bit of extra diligence when it comes to overall communication. The other thing is, and it can simply, by the way, be just by asking, is now a good time? Or can we set up some time to discuss this? Allowing for a little bit of preparation mentally, maybe even, logistically for that other person to get ready for things. Now, this is a card of action. For some of you, you may just be sitting on something that you've been meaning to do, and this card here, the underworld, is coming through and saying, it's time. It's time to let it go. It's time to stop being a perfectionist, perhaps, or stop procrastinating and just go for it. Once you do it, everything starts to move. And sometimes it's more like mental. We're carrying, this sort of feeling of, what about this and what about that? And the King of Swords is swift in movement and action. And then simply saying yes or no. When it does come time to weigh in on something, you do not have to pontificate and use all kinds of words and things of that nature. Just simply say, this is what I want. This is why. Can I count on you for it? Like a really straight and to the point line of communication that's going to serve you very well. Okay. You can edit things, you can revise things, you can change your mind or direction. That's one of the main differences between a reversed King of Swords and an upright one as well. This can also represent a need to speak to a lawyer to balance something out or remedy it. Other things that I see with respect to those that are currently employed, again, the power of teamwork, the fact that a solution might be right under your nose, but you may be looking in the wrong direction. Don't worry if you have to take a step back. You're still making strides. That's another thing here. I mentioned that this is a time for wish fulfillment. So if you want to achieve or accomplish something, promotion, transfer, just getting noticed, you have a chance this month to really make a splash. But speaking up, speaking sometimes even often, and choosing your moment, that's what matters here. Okay? And that's everything here. But again, heart awakening, some of you may also be realizing this is what I really want, or this isn't what I want. Whichever way your heart is kind of pointing you, we want to listen to that this time around. We have a very powerful and important card coming through for those that have a business, whether you own your business or you're just building your business up. The devil comes through to remind you to focus on all the little things that matter the most. So don't create a shortcut. Don't sign a contract that doesn't feel right. Make sure that you're being fair and also being treated fairly. It's really about honesty, transparency, and again, if we go back to this catalyst, she kind of lays it out there. Give and receive in balance. So if you're an employer and you're having a great quarter, share the wealth. If you're working really, really hard and you're not getting rewarded, raise your hand. Obviously, there are times where the company may be struggling or whatever. Maybe there's a solution where everybody can work together and make it work. It's about balance and sharing the load and sharing also the love, the resources, and the abundance. Other things, there could be something that you just know better, like this isn't going to work. I want you to listen to your instincts on this, whether it's, this is the wrong time to have this discussion or launch this product or sign this contract or make this purchase. Whatever it is around knowing that it's right or wrong, you know best, listen to that. And if there is someone around you that wants to take more, doesn't want to give, you owe it to yourself to look beyond that, okay? So that's what I'm seeing for those of you that have a business. There also may be something that just needs to be pruned out of your products or services so that you can focus instead on leveraging all this other positive growth that we see here. By the way, you're being asked to step out. This is true of both those that are in a traditional job and those that maybe are entrepreneurs. We see someone stepping into the foreground here, again, leading by example. For those of you that are currently looking for employment, we have the Knight of Swords coming through. Things are moving quickly. This can cut in two different directions. One in a very positive way, which is things could develop and you could find what you're looking for. The other one, though, is that the early bird gets the worm. So if there's something that you really feel passionate about, now is the time to take action. Make the phone call, send the email, send the text. The first one sometimes is the one that people remember. So take action. This is also about communication. And for some of you, there is a desire to travel or to see the world a little bit more. I think this is perfectly in alignment because we have a travel card here, and now this is the third. So absolutely. Now, can you find something? This is 1 month where I can say yes with a good degree of certainty because we have wish fulfillment here in the Nine of Cups and we have success in the environment. There is a cautionary note. The Three of Wands, of course, represents manifestation, so that's another positive message. But the fact that this card is in reverse, there's a couple things that I want to highlight. One, we could actually just look at the ladder that she's climbing here. For some of you, there could be a lateral move, meaning that title or pay might be very similar to what you're doing right now, but you could be looking at this as a strategic sort of jumping point from which you can go higher eventually. So that could be frustrating, and you have to kind of weigh out how good of an opportunity it is and if it is worth that kind of lateral move. We don't want to take any steps backward, and that is also a cautionary note on this as well. Now, speaking of like looking in the past, though, there might be something that you overlooked or that you weren't ready for in the past, but you are now. So with this particular illustration, it's really about saying, oh, wait, I've always wanted to do this. You know, the timing wasn't right, the resources weren't ready, but they are now. So why don't I go back and try it? And this time I might just hit it out of the park. So a lot to unpack with that. The other thing that's coming through is there may be a requirement for additional travel. That may not be what you want, but again, kind of like for the people that were looking at a lateral move, sometimes you calculate that as a short-term thing that you might even be able to negotiate it and say, okay, well, I can travel for this part of the year, but I need this part with my family, or I need a certain percentage in the home office so that I don't get burned out. Negotiate at the beginning because we have a very successful card in the environment. We have celebratory cards here, and we have a revisionary sort of energy here, so I feel like you can ask for it. That's one of the karmic messages. This time around, negotiate perhaps better than you did in the past. As we take a look at students, we have Page of Pentacles. This is perfectly aligned. I actually feel like you're in a position right now to absorb and to learn and to really be able to take something to the next level. So whatever you're studying or whatever you're interested in studying, go with that. Let's look at some of the cards here. These travel cards could be about transferring to a new school or looking to study abroad. Based on the overall spread, that looks like a good direction if it's what you want. The compass this month is joy, desire, and fulfillment. As long as that's happening, the movements that you're making seem wise. This could also be asking you to look if you are commuting, if that is worth it. Maybe finding a school that's closer or living on campus so that there's not as much time going to and from, because initially it might be manageable, but you look in the 3, 6, 12 months in, you might be tired of the commute. Also the distance from home, if you've not done that before, give it time. Don't push yourself too much. It gets easier. Like anybody that makes a move can tell you, the first year is an adjustment and everything starts to settle in after that. And otherwise, it's really good for students. I like the student life aspect of this. Try not to go to extremes again when it comes to caffeine, overworking, and overpartying for some of you. Everything in moderation, okay? Moving on now to retirees. You are tired of the status quo. The Hierophant is a very bossy card, but this is a very unusual and kind of modern Hierophant, so I like that. Anytime the reversed Hierophant comes through, it's about rethinking old values, old structures, old organizations. There may be some things that you've outgrown. It's kind of like a new season, something doesn't fit as well, it's either too tight or too loose, and you're like, this doesn't fit my energy anymore. And again, when it's an activity, maybe you've just learned everything. Maybe the people have changed. Maybe it's not making the impact that you want. So what I get here is basically recalibrating how you're spending your time, and definitely a call to travel, a call to make change. For some of you, you may be inspired to either become a student or become a teacher here. Either way, the energy is very supportive of you, okay? And overall, with a death and rebirth energy coming through. For those of you that want to disrupt or make a change, you can do it. You may be the one that shines a spotlight on the things that people don't want to see. And as a Libra, you have the capacity to communicate and to contextualize it in a way that is impactful. Let's move on to love, looking at romantic, platonic, friendship, love, all of that. Let's see what's coming forth here. We're overcoming fear. The fear card in the reversed position is actually auspicious. Sometimes we just build things up to be more than they are. This would be very closely connected to something like the Nine of Swords or the Moon card. And so in this moment in time, articulate your sort of fear, your desire. Ask a question if you're not clear on something. Educate yourself if you need to know more, because education is one of the best ways to overcome that uncertainty. Okay? Let's go ahead and break this down into 3 major categories, and we're going to see what comes through. All right. So we're going to look at those of you in a relationship, looking for love, or single and happy. Let's begin with those of you that are currently in a relationship. The biggest challenge is just time management. 2 of Pentacles, trying to be in 2 places at once. There may also be some competing interests where you're having a hard time seeing eye to eye, choosing the same thing at the same time. So negotiation skills are going to come through loud and clear. I think that's why we have the Page of Swords here in the outcome, really encouraging you to speak up if there's something that you want or need. And then we were looking at, like when we looked at resources, trying to find a way that it balances out in the end so both of you are getting a little bit compromised, basically, is what we're talking about here. If we take that piece out of the equation, let's just look at the cards here. I love that we have lovers at the center. It shows that there's a firm foundation here. I also appreciate that there's 9 of Cups energy, which is, again, joyful, passionate. Same thing with 3 of Cups. The interesting thing with this, though, is that there could be some interruption or some disruption from friends or family. Page of Swords, someone speaking up maybe when they shouldn't. There also may be someone from the past that's kind of popping in and, again, weighing in when it really isn't necessary or appropriate. So exercise boundaries when that happens. The Ace of Coins or the Ace of Pentacles in reverse in the deep past is also speaking to the importance of one or both of you simply saying, I want this or I don't want this, because it helps set expectations for the other partner. And then you don't have to try to, read tea leaves. you know where you stand. This is a month of growth. I mean, we haven't talked for a minute about this, but if we look at the karmic energy again, I really do think it is about making sure that you both are, it's like give and take, and balancing out that give and take this month. So if something is imbalanced, speak to that. And if you feel like it might be advantageous just to help or offer a helping hand, do that. In the long run, again, that reciprocity is going to pay off a long way. Otherwise, I like what I see here. I mentioned again with the 2 parent cards here and even a page, this could represent a new birth coming into your life, a new baby, a new opportunity. Let's move on to those that are looking for love. We have the Queen of Wands upright, and we have this beautiful goddess Pele on here showing something new that could be brewing. This is a goddess of creation and destruction. So if there's anything in your life where there was stagnation, like we see here in this card, this is a complete 180. Volcanoes also have a way of just kind of breaking things up or breaking through, and we have a card here that is not grounded at all, the 10 of Wands. So someone could sweep you off your feet. And it's really advantageous in this moment to collect your thoughts, collect your energy. Don't let this impulse sort of color your opinion. Wait a moment and see if you feel the same way, tomorrow. So this is about taking your time. As I mentioned here, it's the 3 of Cups is kind of like a dance. Whether it's a creative process or dating, it's ebb and flow, back and forth, learning how you feel separate than together. So give yourself time to sort this out. I do think you could meet somebody. There are multiple cards coming through representing that. Of course, right at the center, the Lovers, a fulfillment card here as well. This is likely someone that isn't in your current circle of friends. You would meet them by getting out and about, especially with the 3 of Wands and the 6 of Wands. So any sort of activity, whether it's work, sporting or extracurricular where you just have a chance to mix and mingle, this is a time to do just that. The type of energy that's coming forth tends to want to take their time. There may be existing, like with the page here and a lot of parental cards, there could be a child in the picture. There could be an ex in the picture. You have to kind of figure out if that's what you want. And that's really what I want to end on with this particular category is what are you looking for? This card can create. This card can attract. So can the lovers. So when I get multiple suits like I did here, it's not a question of if, but rather when and what. So what is it you're trying to do and when are you ready for that? Because there is a lot going on in your life right now. It's not as sort of like energetically tied or stretched as those in a relationship, but you do still have a lot going on. So make sure you create some space. And finally, if you are single and happy, good for you. 9 of Wands is showing your ability to see something through. This is going to help you get to that 10 of Wands in the crowning position. It's perseverance, it's hard work, and it reminds you that those two qualities are going to put you head and shoulders above the rest. And that's why we have success here in the environment. Take a break though. This tends to have like mental fatigue, headaches, sometimes TMJ associated with it. So make sure you are making time for fun. These are super playful cards, the 9 and 3 of Cups, and that's where my eyes are kind of drawn. I also think that you could still really make some amazing connections this month. Many of them are strategic though. So some of you may be single and happy and focusing on your career. Some of you may be focusing on making an impact or a difference, whether it's personal growth, career growth, or growing the network of people around you. It's really your choice what you want to focus on. So very, very positive energy. Don't be afraid to try something new. All right. Moving onward here, we have the Destiny card in the reverse position, and it is Paul the Venetian. Let's look at the caption on this one. It says, Gifted One, revealing hidden talents, opportunities to shine. So you're coming into your power. You're starting to understand who you are, what makes you tick, and not underestimating your value. And for many of you, maybe deciding to grow, explore, or embrace one of your hidden talents or gifts. This just reminds me of like the Sun card, and that is really what the Sun is, standing in your power, shining, just like the Star card too, and not being afraid to do so. Revealing those hidden talents, this is a chance where you could take others by storm or surprise, and this can help you stand out from the crowd. So by all means, if you're ready to do that, do that. All right, in this moment in time, we're gonna look at the final question for today. This is basically up to you. What is it that you need some additional clarity on? Hold that question, hold that thought. Let me give the cards a shuffle, and we'll see what Spirit has to say. All right, we have the Hanged Man in reverse. So for a yes or no, it's a not yet. Not yet until you have a chance to explore all options. Not yet until you are clear on the path at hand. There's something here that really would benefit from at least sleeping on it a night before moving forward. General notes on this card. Don't rush. You're exactly where you need to be. It's giving you a chance to go inward, to look around, to get clear. And that's really, at the end of the day, what this card is all about. In the mythology of it, Odin chose to hang upside down so that he could learn the secrets of the runes. So he sacrificed some time and energy in order to get something. And sometimes we are looking for an immediate sort of return or validation. And this card is saying patience is really the way to avoid having to repeat something, to avoid making a misstep. This is aligning you quite possibly to the 3 of Wands that we saw in the near future. And by slowing down, taking a step back, when it comes through, you're going to recognize it. So try to embrace where you're at and see the lesson or see the opportunity in that. All right, everybody, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this reading, and if you did, do me a favor, like and subscribe. It absolutely helps the channel grow, lets me know that this is making a difference, and it allows me to do more of what you see here. To that end, I absolutely rely upon super stickers, super likes, and also memberships, because ad revenue doesn't always cut it here, and it's the love and the support from the community that allows me to continue to do this. And I've been doing it a decade. I hope to continue to be able to, but now more than ever, especially where there's even more channels doing a similar thing, your support helps. So I just want to say thanks in advance. If you would like to learn more about me, you can go to my website. You can also give me a follow on social media. It's always Nicholas Ashbaugh on all the major platforms. And on Blue Sky, it's nicholasashbaugh.com. A reminder that I don't offer private readings, nor do I use direct messages. So if anybody's doing that, block report, let me know about it. And that's everything, folks. Thank you so much for being the best part of what I do here on YouTube. I hope you found some value in this. I hope you leave with a sense of clarity, and I wish you all the best in the coming days and weeks. Please leave a comment below and let me know what resonated most, maybe what your chance for renewal or growth is, and how you're kind of approaching the Six of Wands success energy that I see around you in this moment in time. Let's wrap up by giving Apollo a little pat on the head, and then I'll sign off. All right, everybody, take care, and I'll see you soon.